Jason, that match was a bit of a roller coaster. Can you take us through your emotions?
I have a migraine right now. That's my emotion. Yeah, I mean, I was really, really disappointed, obviously, with what happened in the first half. I actually thought we started out pretty decently. Really, they weren't causing us any problems at all. We had the ball in their half of the field. We were trying to break them down. They were making things difficult, as is typical, by putting so many players behind the ball. The first basic chance they get behind our back four, they score. So that was very frustrating, but then the reaction from then for the next 10 or 15 minutes was really poor. To give a second goal away put us in a really awkward position. But challenge the guys at halftime, and credit to them for the response they showed. To score 5 goals unanswered is pretty good.
Jason, Plot was one of the biggest difference makers tonight. Talk a little bit about his contribution.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you look at all the guys that came into the match were difference makers for me, and that's what you need to have. The energy level was a little low from quite a few of the players tonight, so the guys coming off the bench were critical. All of them did well, worked hard, and were a big part of the difference.
Jason, it seemed like that energy did change when you made that double substitution. Does that prove it really all came down to coaching tonight?
Yeah. If it all came down to coaching, we wouldn't have been down 2-0, would we? No, I just think, again, the players just didn't quite have the right energy, the right mentality to make the difference in the first half, and to put ourselves in a much better place than we should have, in the place that we did have. So, that's the way to look at it in the negative light, and the way to look at it in the positive light is to say, what a terrific reaction by our players. What a terrific mindset to battle back to battle back to get level in that game with the 2 goals, and then to go into the overtime and be dominant. Was outstanding. So we will do as we typically do, which is to look more at the positives than the negatives.
Jason, Charleston in the second half pretty much bunkered in and didn't really play offense, and they swarmed your guys every time they touched the ball. Are you pleased with how they kind of reacted to that bunkering mentality and just kept pressing the attack?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen now in nearly every opponent that's come here, and quite a few opponents actually at their own place, have presented that same problem for us. So it's nice to see that our guys are, I think, finding solutions to it.
Sandoval, man of the match tonight, huge contribution, 2 goals. Could you talk about his performance tonight?
Excellent, really, really good. Got better as it went on, because I actually think he wasn't the sharpest until he scored the goal, and then I thought he was fantastic. And the work rate's always there, so I'm very appreciative of that. But he scored that goal that broke things open, and then I think he almost didn't really put a foot wrong the rest of the way.
Anything else for Jason? Randy?
You've had 2 Open Cup matches against what's lower division talent, and you've kind of seemed to be able to break away when you needed to most. Anything as you prepare for Carolina is that maybe a lesson that can teach you as you take on Carolina in a couple weeks?
I hope so. I really thought that we were a smart enough, experienced veteran team that we wouldn't have to go through this twice. Again, and that's looking at the negative side of things. The positive side of things is what a terrific reaction again. And I'm hopeful that the third time we won't need to play 120 minutes. But I don't know, maybe our players are just wanting to give the fans their money's worth for the Open Cup matches. 120 minutes of excitement, It's like, what is that, time and a half? They should start charging more for these tickets.
Are you pleased that you don't have to play this weekend in terms of fatigue and rest?
Lord. Yeah, I think that's huge blessing for us. But there are some guys that are going to be playing again, because we have a match on Saturday in Phoenix. So there'll be quite a few of those guys that contributed tonight for long stretches are going to have to turn around and play in 100-degree weather in Phoenix Saturday night.
Jason, how do the guys decide who's going to take the penalty kicks when you have a couple of them come up?
For me, I have never been a coach that wants to dictate who takes penalty kicks. For me, it means more for the players to choose amongst themselves, and for the guys to do what they think is right. I was a player myself, and there were several times in matches where I just said, you know what, I'm not feeling it, so somebody else take it. And I think those are the decisions that have to be made out there, because I'm not out there playing the game. I know who's confident. I don't know who's the most confident and who's not. So, and obviously Plata was a pretty confident player at that moment.
You talked about Sandoval having a rough start to the match. You decide to leave him on, and then the two players you bring on score. Is that satisfying as a coach to feel like you made the right call there, or how do you look at that?
You know what? I think I just get lucky sometimes. I'm in a run of good luck right now.
It was the first meaningful minutes for Aaron Mond. Could you talk about his performance tonight?
It wasn't the best, I'll be honest and frank. I thought he looked a little bit hesitant, both with decisions when we didn't have the ball and decisions when we did have the ball. So it'll be a learning experience for him. I'm still glad that he was able to contribute, and glad that he was able to play his first official minutes for us, and we'll be looking for teaching moments and improvement.
Jason, one last question. 25 goals in 9 matches. Anything you attribute that to?
Luck again, just a lot of luck. It's just, again, it's just commitment from the players, commitment to stick with it. You know, I just, there needs to be something said about the positive atmosphere in our group right now. For, you know, the last several matches, including the last Open Cup game, the LA Galaxy game, this game, there's just such a never say die attitude. I think there's such a terrific camaraderie within the players, and I think it shows itself by what they're willing and able to do for each other, and to continue to battle on and have positive outcomes in the end.
RSL hosts Seattle at Rio Tinto Stadium on June 22nd at 7:30. Get your tickets today.